Welcome to the HyperHive podcast. Today we're going deep on The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason.
Written almost 100 years ago,
Yeah.
but still so incredibly relevant.
Yeah, I was really struck by, I think it was the introduction by Clason's grandson, where he talks about, people back then, back in the 20s, thought that this book was going to just be a fad.
Right.
Like, oh, this is just, for now, this is what's popular now, and it's just going to fade away. But in fact, it's just as relevant now as it was then.
It's incredible how timeless these principles are.
Yeah.
And the way he tells these stories.
Yeah, it's like they're so simple and straightforward, and yet so profound.
You really get sucked in
You do.
to these parables set in ancient Babylon.
Yeah, and it's really about, personal finance and, creating wealth for yourself. So let's dive in.
Sounds good.
The book starts with two friends, Bansir and Kabi,
Both hardworking and talented.
but they just can't seem to get ahead financially.
Right. They're both skilled in their crafts.
Yeah, Bansir's a chariot builder.
And Kabi's a musician.
Right, but at constantly struggling.
And one day, Bansir wakes from a dream
Ooh.
where he's rich and successful.
Yeah.
And this leaves him feeling deeply dissatisfied.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, I just was in this amazing dream.
Right. It's like a glimpse into another reality.
And he wakes up and he's like, hey, my life sucks.
Exactly. And that feeling of discontent, that desire for something more is what drives them to seek advice from Arkad, the richest man in Babylon.
Yeah, so they go to Arkad and they're like, what's your secret?
They want to know how he became so wealthy.
Yeah, what I find interesting about Arkad is that he's like a self-made man.
Right. He wasn't born into riches.
Yeah, he starts as a humble scribe.
Just a regular guy with a burning desire to improve his situation.
And he's like, I don't want to be in this situation forever.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be wealthy. I want to have a good life.
And his determination is really inspiring.
Yeah, so he goes to this wealthy guy, Algamish, who is a lender, and he says, I want to work for you for free.
Yeah.
Just so I can learn from you. And Algamish is like, sure.
Yeah, he basically becomes an apprentice.
Yeah, he carves debt tablets all night long.
That's dedication.
Yeah, and eventually he achieves great wealth.
Not through luck.
But through learning and applying these principles.
Exactly.
So Arkadhin, to share this knowledge, he teaches a group of 100 men what he calls the 7 cures for a lean purse.
Okay. These are the steps to building wealth.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people listening to this have probably heard of the 7 cures. They're pretty well known.
But there's always something new to learn
Yeah,
when you revisit these principles.
So the first cure is start thy purse to fattening.
Which basically means save at least a tenth of your earnings,
Yeah.
no matter how much you make.
Yeah, put that 10% away.
It seems simple, but it's amazing how many people struggle with this.
Yeah, I know I did for years.
It requires discipline.
Yeah, it's about shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance.
Right. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough to save,
Yeah.
you start believing that there's always enough.
Yeah, and Arkad himself realized he didn't feel any poorer by saving.
Interesting.
Yeah, and in fact, money seemed to flow toward him more easily once he started prioritizing saving.
So it's like the money started working for him.
Yeah, and then the second cure is control thy expenditures.
Budgeting.
Yeah, a lot of people hear budgeting and they're like, I don't want to do that.
It sounds restrictive.
Yeah, or boring or whatever.
But Clason really emphasizes that a budget gives you more freedom.
It's about being intentional.
Right. You're making conscious choices about where your money goes.
Yeah, instead of just spending it willy-nilly.
Exactly.
And then you're like, oh shoot, I don't have any money left.
Right. It helps you prioritize your needs and wants.
Yeah, so you can afford the things that truly matter to you.
Whether it's basic necessities, enjoyable experiences, or long-term goals.
Yeah, like travel or a down payment on a house.
Exactly.
And then the third cure is make thy gold multiply.
Yeah.
Growing your savings.
This is where it gets a little more complex. But I think one of the key things is that, you wouldn't go to a baker for medical advice.
Right?
So why would you go to just anybody for financial advice?
Yeah, you need to seek advice from experts.
Yeah, people who specialize in areas like stocks, bonds, or real estate.
People with a proven track record.
Yeah.
And Arkad even shares a story of his own failed investment.
Ooh.
To illustrate the importance of getting good advice.
Yeah, so he invested with a brick maker.
Oh, yeah. As more.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to make a ton of money.
And it didn't go so well.
It did not go well.
He lost his investment.
Yeah, so you really got to do your research and you got to understand the risks involved and just avoid those get-rich-quick schemes.
Absolutely.
And then the fourth cure is guard thy treasures from loss.
Protecting your principal.
Yeah.
being a savvy investor.
So it's not just about making money.
Right.
It's also about not losing money.
You have to be cautious and avoid risky investments. Yeah, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
It probably is.
There's no easy path to riches.
Yeah.
So, like we were saying before about the 7 cures,
Yeah.
the 5th cure
Oh, yeah.
is make of thy dwelling a profitable investment.
Which is basically about buying a house.
Owning your own home.
Yeah.
ARCOD really highlights the benefits
Mm-hmm.
of reducing your living costs.
Yeah. Instead of paying rent to somebody else.
Right, you're paying yourself.
Yeah, you're building equity.
And it provides stability for you and your family.
I wonder if, that's still good advice today.
Well,
Obviously the housing market is a lot different than it was back in ancient Babylon.
right, but the underlying principle of homeownership as a way to build wealth,
Yeah.
it still holds true.
Yeah.
It's just important to approach it with a sound financial plan.
Yeah, you got to do your research and figure out what's right for you.
Exactly.
So the 6th cure is ensure a future income.
Which basically means planning for retirement.
Yeah, making sure you're taken care of
Right.
when you're no longer working.
Have a reliable income stream.
But back then they didn't even have
401ks.
yeah, 401ks or IRAs or anything like that.
But ARCOD's idea of pooling resources to provide for families after death,
Yeah.
it's like the precursor to modern insurance.
Yeah, it's interesting how he kind of saw that coming.
Uh-huh.
So today we have a lot of different options.
Right, like IRAs,
1K,
annuities,
all sorts of stuff.
It's crucial to start planning early
Yeah.
and choose a strategy that aligns with your goals.
And then the 7th and final cure is increase thy ability to earn.
Ooh, this is a big one.
Yeah, it's about continuous self-improvement.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah, your skills, your knowledge.
Your ability to adapt.
Yeah, because the job market's always changing.
It's more important than ever to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah, to embrace new challenges.
To constantly seek ways to add value.
Yeah, so what can our listener do right now to start building their own path to financial well-being?
Well, first and foremost, you got to start saving.
At least 10% of your income.
Make it a habit.
Yeah.
Like paying a bill.
Yeah, you wouldn't skip paying your electricity bill,
Right.
so don't skip paying yourself.
Exactly.
And you also got to create a budget.
Yes, track your income and expenses.
Yeah, so you can see where your money's going.
And identify areas where you can cut back.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right. If you're not sure how to invest,
Yeah.
seek advice from a financial professional,
Yeah, somebody you trust.
someone with experience.
Yeah.
And remember to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Keep learning new skills.
Expand your knowledge.
Increase your earning potential.
Yeah.
And finally, you got to have a plan
Yeah.
for your financial future.
Yeah, where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
Right. Retirement planning, estate planning.
Yeah. Make sure your loved ones are taken care of.
Think of it as a roadmap for your financial future.
Yeah, and it's not just about, the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about your mindset, your beliefs about money.
Your habits.
Yeah.
And the actions you take.
So if you can shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance
Mm-hmm.
and start taking those small, consistent steps,
You'll be amazed at what you can achieve.
if you love the content, please like and subscribe to keep us going. So much of what we talked about today goes beyond just money management.
Right. It's about building a foundation.
Yeah, for a fulfilling and prosperous life.
It's about those character traits and habits.
Yeah, what were some of those things that we talked about?
Diligence, perseverance, self-control, the willingness to learn from others.
Yeah.
I mean, those are valuable in every aspect of life,
Yeah, for sure.
not just finances.
And, we didn't really talk about this explicitly,
Uh-huh.
but I think one of the things that the book does really well is
Yeah.
it uses Babylon itself as a metaphor
Oh, yeah.
for the wealth we can create
Right. It's like
in our own lives.
those magnificent walls, temples, hanging gardens.
Yeah.
That's like a testament to the wealth and prosperity they created.
Yeah, and we can do that too.
Absolutely.
We can use our skills and our knowledge and our wisdom
Yeah.
to create a fulfilling life.
And a legacy for
Yeah.
ourselves and future generations.
For sure. So if you haven't already, I highly recommend checking it, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah. It's a quick read.
Yeah.
But packed with wisdom.
And it's a great place to start if you're looking to improve your financial well-being.
So to recap,
Yeah.
we talked about those 7 cures.
Yeah, starting with saving at least 10% of your income.
Right. Control your spending.
Make your gold multiply.
Yeah, invest wisely.
Guard your treasures from loss.
Seek expert advice.
Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment.
Which means think about home ownership.
Yep, and ensure a future income.
Plan for retirement.
Yeah. And then finally, increase thy ability to earn.
Never stop learning.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks.
The wisdom of ancient Babylon.
Applied to your modern life.
So tell us in the comments what financial lessons you've learned.
Yeah.
Or maybe suggest a book.
For a future deep dive.
Please like and subscribe to the channel.
You can also support us by buying the book through our Amazon affiliate link,
which you can find
on our website, gohyperhive.com.
And with that,
we'll see you next time.